Hey guys, this is Michael Chin, and in this video, I'm going to teach you everything there is to know about Ninjatrader 8. Ninjatrader is by far my favorite day trading platform, so if you're just getting started or you want to learn a little more about my day trading process, this is the video for you. Now by the end of this video, you'll have my complete charting setup, including my chart trader, and you'll have a demo account so you can start learning how to trade today. Alright, so let's get started. First of all, we want to get that demo account. Now, if you already have a live account or a demo account set up, you can skip this step. But for those of you who are just starting out, let's go through it. So we want to come to this website, ninjatrader.com/free live data. This is where we are going to request a demo account from NinjaTrader. And what we're going to do is we're going to come down to this form here, make sure that we have futures selected, and then we are going to enter in our contact information. So I'll put mine in right here, and then I will verify that I am human, and then I'll hit submit, and this is basically going to be requesting a demo account from NinjaTrader, and we're going to need this demo account to see the price data coming in. So without this, your charts will basically be empty. Now we'll come down to select the NinjaTrader version here. I'll select NinjaTrader 8. This tutorial is going to be for NinjaTrader 8 only, so if you use 7, I'm sorry I can't help you here, but after you've selected that version, go ahead and download and install NinjaTrader, and then you will wait for that email confirmation from NinjaTrader with your demo credentials. Okay, so at this point, NinjaTrader has processed our demo credentials and they have sent it to our email. And so we have that in our top left corner up here. And then we also have NinjaTrader 8 installed. And I am currently looking at the control center, which is basically your home page. So the first thing we want to do is we want to connect to our demo account. So we're going to do that by coming up to this connections tab up here, clicking connections, hitting configure, and then coming down to the NinjaTrader continuum right here. So this is basically allowing us to connect to a data platform. And what we want to do is we want to connect to NinjaTrader and set up our demo account. So I'll hit add here. And now we have added this as one of our configured connections. And then I basically want to paste in all of the credentials. So username comes in here, username, and password comes in here as password. Make sure that these are all correct. And then I want to give this connection a name for our sake. So I'll call it the NinjaTrader demo account. And then you're going to leave everything else. Whoops. You want to have this checked. You want to leave everything else as is. These three are all unchecked, and then keep demo checked. So I will hit apply, and this will save our connection configuration. Apply. We're going to get some disclaimer. You can ignore this. And then I'll hit OK, and now we are ready to connect to our demo account. So let's do that by coming back up to the connections, hovering over our NT demo account, selecting it, and then you'll see that there's an orange light down here. This means that we are currently connecting to the demo account. And there we go. So once it is green, we are now hooked up to our demo account. And I was already playing around with the demo account a bit, so there is some money lost on it right now. But the next thing we want to do is we want to update our instruments. So we'll come up to the tools tab right here. And this is mainly for those who already have an existing NinjaTrader account. If you're just fresh, you probably don't need to do this, but we'll come up to the tools tab here, come down to database management. And what you'll see here is you'll see some contracts that you may need to roll over. So if you freshly installed NinjaTrader today, everything should be up to date. But if you haven't used NinjaTrader in a while, you will need to update your futures contracts, because if you're not using the right expiration contract, there may be little to no volume at all, right? If you're using a contract that's already expired, there's going to be no volume. And if you're using a contract that's way too far out, then there might be no volume at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit rollover, and this will automatically update all of our futures instruments. So do that real quickly. And you'll have to do this at least 4 times a year, because if you're trading the E-mini futures, those roll over every quarter. So we'll click close here, and now we are ready to start charting. So we'll hit new, and then we'll come down to chart, and this will basically create us a new chart to work with. So we'll click chart here. This will bring up some basic properties, but for now, let's just select the E-mini futures, come down to futures, and you'll see the updated contract ES 0320, which is the March 2020 contract. Select that. For now, I'm going to load the very default template. I have my own default that's a little different, but let's set it to none. And then the other thing we want to do is, because I am a 2000 tick chart trader, let's just set this to 2000 ticks right off the start. So It's already set to tick, I think, by default in my platform, but I'm not sure what it'll look like on yours. And then I want to set this to 2000. And now we are ready to fire off this chart and start looking at some price action. So we'll hit OK, and that will bring up this chart in the background. Let me minimize this. And now we have our S&P 500 futures 2000 tick chart ready for us to start trading. But it is the default, and I want to make some changes to it so that it is proper for my price action trading. So first of all, I want to add the indicators. I want to first add that 21 EMA period moving average. So we'll come up to the top here, and there's an indicators button. I can click that, and this will bring up a list of all of the available indicators for us. And the indicators that I use are all default to Ninjatrader, so you won't have to add anything custom. We will scroll down to EMA, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click add, and this will add it to our chart. So now it is down here in the indicators that are added to our chart, and I want to set it up as a 21 period moving average. So we'll select 21, and then if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can also change its color. I like teal, so let's change the color to teal or turquoise, a lighter blue. So now we have the 21 period exponential moving average ready, and I will hit apply, and now it'll be added to our chart. And then one more thing I want to add is I also want to add the tick counter. So on Thinkorswim, it automatically appears if you're using a tick chart, but on NinjaTrader, you have to actually manually add it to your chart. So TickTrader will be all the way at the bottom here, and we'll select add, and this will add the tick counter to our chart. And then I believe the defaults are good for me. I like having it count down. It's just easier to see when it hits 0 instead of trying to count up to 2000 or whatever arbitrary number you are using for your tick chart. So we'll hit apply here, and now you can see we have the tick counter here at the bottom. So I'll hit OK. We have the 21 EMA moving average, and we have our tick counter, and now this is looking a lot better. The next thing I want to do is I want to play around with these grid lines. I want to have them work in my favor. So let's come over to the y-axis right now, and we can hit right-click, properties, and then we'll see something called horizontal grid lines. I want to change this from automatic to fixed, and we'll have the fixed at 1 point. And what this is going to do is it's going to make all of our horizontal lines stagger by 1 point. So this is really going to help us because as a price action scalper who is looking for 1 point, having these 1 point grid lines is going to make it a lot easier to see if we can actually get our 1 point scalp. So let's say I wanted to buy right above this bar here at 33.5875. Well, I can tell that the 1 point scalp is right here, and there's not a lot of resistance. So, you could probably get it. I mean, this isn't an actual setup I would take, but it's just easier with these 1 point grid lines to see where your approximate profit target is. So that's super helpful, especially when prices are moving very quickly and you have to react quickly. So this is actually all we need for our chart setup. Remember, there's no fancy indicators when you're doing price action. All we want to see are the candlesticks. We want to have our one helpful indicator here as the 21 period moving average, and then we can have the grid lines just help us out, as well as the tick counter helping us understand when a setup is about to happen. So the next thing we want to do is we want to play around with drawings, and drawings are very powerful on NinjaTrader. So what we can do is we can right click here, come to drawing tools, and you'll see that there is a plethora of drawing tools available to us, but I actually only use 3 of these. So one is going to be the line, and then I also use the trend channel. So if I find a trend, I can draw this channel and it'll automatically give me a parallel line. And then the last thing I like to use is the horizontal line, which if I have some top resistance or some bottom support, I can add the horizontal line there. Not sure if you can see this on your screen. It is pretty faint, so let me make it something that's not even good. Let's change the color to gold here so you can see this horizontal line, but it's very helpful. Turquoise, opacity 100. And let's make the width pretty big. So there we go. So horizontal lines, trend channels, and trend lines. And when I am doing price action, I draw a lot of these lines because it helps me visualize what prices are doing, right? You could just kind of eye it out like, oh, sure, there is a trend line here, but why not just draw it? Makes life so much easier. And the next time you have to see if this trend line is being touched, you can easily find it by having this drawing tool out. Now, how do you make this even easier? Well, it's really hard to make drawings if you're just right-clicking, drawing tools, and then every time you're having to go through this, well, I use something called hotkeys. So I have all of my trend lines on hotkeys, right? Trend line, trend channel, horizontal line. Now, how do we do that? Well, we'll have to pull up the control center again. So let me bring the control center up again. And now that we're back to the control center, we'll actually come up to the tools here, hit hotkeys, and this will bring up all of the available hotkeys that we can play around with. So if you scroll all the way down, you will find drawings here in the hotkeys. And as you can see, I have assigned the line as Control G. I have the horizontal line as Control H. And then I have the trend channel as Control T. So if you want to use some of the other drawings, you can also use them too, but I like to stick to these three. That's all I really need for my trading, but all of them are here if you need to update those hotkeys. Okay, so let's come back to the chart here. So now we know all about the drawings. We know how my chart is set up. Now we actually need to figure out how we're going to take trades. And what we're going to use is one of NinjaTrader's most powerful features, which is going to be the chart trader. So let me clean up my screen here. Delete all of these charts and drawings. And now we're going to start bringing up the chart trader. So to activate chart trader, we're going to have to come up again to this menu. We're going to have to select the chart trader, and then we will click in this solid chart trader, and that's going to bring it up on our right hand side here. So now the chart trader is active and is ready to be used. Now, what is the chart trader? Well, as it's called, it allows us to place trades directly on the chart. Now, why does this help? Well, when I am doing price action trading, I like to buy above and below bars. And so if we were looking at prices right now, and let's say I wanted to quickly buy above this bar, well, if I was not using chart trader, I would have to first calculate what that price is. I'd have to be like, okay, that is 3359.25. And then I would have to come over to my order tab, and I would have to place a buy stop order at that number. Well, with the chart trader, we can actually just click right above this bar, and then we can hit buy stop market, and we automatically have our order in right above this bar at 3359.25. So it makes life really, really easy. And okay, we just got filled. I didn't really mean to get filled, but let's just close it out.
Order filled.
So now we are closed out. And actually, one more thing I wanted to point out, I forgot about this, but you see how after I put in order, there is a buy and some close text? Well, this basically just clutters up your screen. And when I think about price action trading, if there's anything on your screen that's not really helping you, then it's kind of working against you. And this is kind of just making it much harder to read price action. So let's actually remove that. So I'll right click on the screen, come down to data series. Let's move this over to the right, and then I can scroll all the way down to the bottom, and there's something here called plot executions. Well, right now it's set to text and marker, so it's showing the text and the marker. I can select this and hit do not plot, and it will be gone forever. So I'll hit apply, and now our screen is much clearer. So just one little segue right there, but yeah, I do like to get rid of those plot executions because it does clutter up the screen with unnecessary text. So back to the chart trader. It basically allows us to right click, and we can have a lot of these orders. So if I want to sell below this bar, I could sell a stop order below this bar. If I wanted to buy above this bar, put a buy in here. And then like any other good trading chart, you can move these orders around pretty easily. Now let's do a quick overview of this chart trader tab. So I'll bring it out a little more so you can see. But basically, we have buttons up here that allow you to buy market, sell market. I don't really like to use these, so we can kind of ignore them. They're not really pertinent to price action trading. The major things we should look at is the instrument. You can't change this, but make sure you are trading the S&P 500 futures contracts. For this, you want to have this as good till cancel, not day. Day means that your order will get canceled out at the end of the day. Good till cancel means that your order is going to last until you cancel it. So in the off chance that you do have a runner and you want to hold it overnight, if you did have the day order, your order might just get removed at the end of the day, and then you'll have no stop, and you might wake up with a bankrupt account. So always have good to cancel. It makes sure that your orders last as long as you want them to. and then make sure that your account is set up to whatever account you're using. Right now I have it on the demo account, and then the quantity contracts is going to show how many futures contracts we are going to be trading. So let's set that up to 4, which is what I use on my live account. And then the next part we want to look at is the ATM strategy. So this is where all of your automated strategies are coming in, and this is where things get really powerful and really cool. So with price action trading, we are always going for 1-point scalps, and then we want to have at least a 2-point stop loss. And when we put in our orders, we want to have that automatically done, and we can do that with the automated trader. So we'll come into this strategy tab, click it, and you'll see that I already have my strategy that I like to use, but let's create it on our own and see what that actually looks like. So we'll come to custom, and this will bring up the custom strategy parameter. So this is where we're actually going to build our automated strategy. So first of all, let's say we wanted to trade the 4 contracts and we wanted to have it scalp out at 1 point. No, then we're going to put our profit target as 4 because it's set as ticks right now, and 4 ticks is equal to 1 point. And then this is actually all we need. So we have the 4 contracts and the 4 ticks as profit. Oh, and then we want to have the stop loss. So we want to set stop loss to at least 2 points, which is going to be 8 ticks. So now we have our scalping strategy set up. I can come in, hit save as template, and I'll call it scalper. So now we have this saved as a template, and now it shows up in our ATM strategy. So when we do come in and buy, let's just hit buy market. You can see that we automatically have, I'll scroll on a little more, we automatically have this 1-point target set, and we have our stop loss as is, and we can adjust these as we want, but you don't really want to be adjusting this 1-point scalp. Always go for that 1-point scalp. Don't get greedy. And then as for the stop loss, we can tighten it up here just a little bit right below this previous bar. Now, let's say we want to have a runner, because runners are so fun. We're going to come back to our strategy here, come back to custom again, and looks like this is going to work. I just blindly bought it. There's no strategy here, no setup. And what we want to do is we want to again have the 8-point profit. 4 tick profit, meaning 1-point scalp, and then we're gonna have the 8 tick stop loss. And then we'll come in and we'll have to add another target, which is gonna be the runner target. So the runner target is also gonna have that 2-point stop loss. Same stop loss, right? If your strategy is not working, you wanna exit out of both of these different contracts, but we want the profit to be something ridiculously high. So let's just set it to like 20, which is gonna be 5 points up. So that means that if we do get that 1-point scalp, the runner is not going to be taken out. And then we want to set the quantity here to 3 and 1. So 3 scalping contracts and 1 runner. So I'll save this as scalp plus runner. Hit OK. And now we see the strategy also here in our ATM strategy. So now we have the scalper and the scalp runner, and we can choose which one we want to use based on how we want to trade the prices. So let's close out of this contract that we have right now. And let's see how the scalp plus runner strategy works. So we'll hit buy market again. And as you can see, we have the 3 contracts at a 1-point scalp. And then we also have the 1 contract running as far as it wants to go. We can adjust this higher. Usually I just like to set it up super high because you never know. Prices could become super volatile and just shoot up 5 points in a matter of seconds. And then as for a stop, we'll tighten it up again. So those are the 2 ATM strategies that I like to use. They are very powerful. They are also very helpful, right? You know, you don't have to place your order and then you have to put in that 1-point scalp after, and then you have to add your stop loss. You know, that would be very cumbersome to do on your own. It's nice to have it all automated, but also it's very necessary. So let's think about a trading queue. So let's say 100 traders all came in and they all placed in their orders. Well, if 50 of them are using an automated strategy and then 50 of them are doing manually, well, the 50 who do it automated are going to be first in line, because the moment they get filled, they're already going to have their 1-point scalp order in, and so it's going to be first in line. Now, all those people who are doing it manually, well, depending on how long they take, they could be at the tail end or last in line. So let's say that those 100 contracts are all waiting to take profits. Well, the moment prices hit that, they're going to fill the orders based on the time that they came in. So the first 50 people will be filled first, and then the last 50 people will be filled last. And let's say that only 50 contracts are filled at the price, and then prices immediately reverse. well, then you are screwed if you're one of those people who used a manual system. And so we don't want to bother with that. And that's why we're going to use this automated strategy. It's going to put us at the front of the line. So the moment prices hit that 1 point scalp, we get that 1 point scalp and then we can stop worrying about it. Whereas other people, it might start teasing them at the 1 point line. It might start, touching it, pulling back, touching it, and it might even just reverse and they might just actually lose the trade. So automated strategies, they're helpful, but they're also completely necessary for the kind of trading that we're doing. And let me clean this up real quick. There's one more thing I want to show you before we head out, and that is going to be putting in multiple orders. So let's say I was using the scalp plus runner. Well, if I wanted to buy right now, then we would have our first order in. And now let's say I saw a second setup and I wanted to do another price action trade. Well, let's say this one was closed out. So let's say that these three got filled and now we have our runner, but now we want to do another 1 point scalp within this runner. So you want to have these like two strategies working as individual strategies. Well, if you were to come in and you were to just hit buy market again, it would actually add on those 4 contracts onto your original strategy. So now you would have like 5 runners, and this would not be what you want. So to fix that, we're actually going to have to come in and right click this, hit properties, and you'll see a thing at the top called ATM strategy selection mode. So right now it defaults to selecting the active strategy. So your order is going to be placed on this active strategy. Well, what we want it to do instead is we want it to be placed on a completely new strategy. So we will click this and we will come down to keep selected ATM strategy template. So now when I hit apply, let's close this all out. Now when I hit buy and I put in our first order and then the scalps get filled, when I put in the second order, you'll see that it is its own complete template and it's working on its own. So now we have the 2 runners, we have this second strategy scalping out on its own, and the other runner is still existing. So this is very important. And if you want a better visualization of it, you can actually come in and click this and you can see that there's 2 strategies working. So the first strategy is, I think, the runner, and then the second strategy is this 1 point scalp that we added on. And if you ever wanted to mess with those on their own, so let's say I wanted to just close out the runner, I think I can click here and you'll see by the lightning bolt that it's currently active, and I can hit close. Okay, never mind. Close just wipes us out of the entire market. That's not what I intended, but basically remember that you want to come to properties. You want to hit keep selected ATM strategies so that you can put on multiple orders if need be. If not, your thing is going to get super messy. You're going to have all of these weird trades added onto each other and it's not going to look right. And that's going to be it, guys. This has been a walkthrough of my NinjaTrader 8 setup. I hope it helps you. I hope you've learned a lot from this. If you have any further questions about it, feel free to ask below. And if you want to learn how to trade with this chart, please feel free to check out my live scalping series where I commentate on my live trading sessions to help you learn how to day trade. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Happy trading.